Hey guys, it is Subs Week here on Pagan Perspective, and this week we are answering actually the last 2 weeks. So you had your regular uploaders last week, and now the subs are doing the same topic. So we had a question that I will post below in relation to crows in the relation to the Morrigan, and then also asking about particular deities, a god or goddess that's good with prosperity and with finances that could help our questioner's mother out with a current situation that she's in. But we also pretty much have summarized that this week's topic will be about deity as well. And I'm actually going to be talking about different deities I work with, because a lot of you will know I have several relationships with deities. I think I'm up to, I have a lot of working relationships. But this week I'm going to be talking about Hermes, Themis, Freya, and a little bit about the Morrigan. I'll probably post more up on my channel about it once I speak to my housemate about it, who is a devotee of the Morrigan. So let's start with Hermes. So I've been working pretty much with Hermes, well, officially when I dedicated myself when I was 15, so it's been 13 years now? Yeah, when I did my dedication, it was the two deities I dedicated with was Hecate and Hermes. And it's been in the last year or two, actually no, it's been since pretty much I moved to Brisbane, so yeah, about the last year or two, that my relationship with Hermes has really deepened and connected a lot more. I very much work with his trickster aspect. I think out of all the deities I'm drawn to, it's definitely his trickster aspect with Hermes, and also travel and communication, because being a Gemini, it all just works out. And in the Gemini planetary alignment sort of thing, Mercury is the planet there, and Mercury is seen as a counterpart in the Roman pantheon to Hermes in the Greek. And Hermes, the history of Hermes is that there used to be, back in the day, when they would mark land, or the place between lands, they would put small little markers, and I'm pretty sure they were called Herms, and there would be just little statues that would notify borders between places. So essentially that's kind of where Hermes, that's the start of where Hermes came from. He was pretty much the traveller between places, and it would be so that you've crossed from one place to another. And Hermes, being the god that he is, can travel between all the worlds, and he's also, I'm trying to remember the word right now and I can't think of it, a psychopomp, that's the word. As a psychopomp, in his role as that, he takes and ferries the dead to the underworld so that they can meet Chiron and cross the river into Hades, go meet Hades and Cerberus and all that, and then and Hermes is messenger to the gods. And originally, the Caduceus or Caduceon, his staff that he carries, was taken from Iris, who was originally the messenger of the gods, and he uses that's his symbol, his travelling symbol. And he's often depicted with a helm and winged sandals or shoes. But yeah, I really like my relationship with Hermes. Whenever I'm having internet issues, or if I'm running late or something, ask him to help out with that. Just get transport to me on time, which is always good. And then the next relationship I suppose I'm going to be talking about would be with Themis. And Themis is the Greek titaness of natural order and balance. She's often depicted as carrying a sword and scales, and she can be depicted as either blindfolded or unblindfolded, and I prefer her much more unblindfolded. But Justice, who she's often known as, sees all and knows all, as opposed to Justice is blind. But yeah, Themis I've really built my relationship with after coming to Brisbane a lot, because there's a beautiful statue of her in Brisbane City, and it was pretty much set up outside the courthouses, and they've moved her now, and I quite don't like where she is now, but she's in a whole new place, and they've built a whole new statue, well, not new statue, but new podium and everything for her. So she's still there, and we've tried to make offerings to her before, and we always get shooed away because they think we're doing crazy weird things. But Themis for me is very much that divine balance. It's that justice, that every action has a positive or negative reaction, and it's like nature doesn't discriminate. Nature will pretty much everything causes an effect, and she is that for me. She's also, I see her as like the balancer of seasons as well. She's also just keeps like natural order in place as well. So it's in relation to like the food that we eat, knowing that we will eat this food now and then one day we will become food. Well, actually, technically we're kind of being eaten all the time by like bacteria and all that, eating parts of us like skin cells and everything. Yeah. Themis I've always loved. I will post a link down below if I can find it to a beautiful picture that I own the original of, that a friend of mine made, and she's depicted Themis as this being between day and night. They have, like, it's literally cut down kind of down the center. One side is in night and one side is in day, and she's at the natural flow that we always know that the night will always follow the day and the day will follow the night, and that cycle will always happen. And that's kind of really what Themis is to me. She's that natural flow, and I have been trying to incorporate her more into my work, especially with the reclaiming work I do now with activism and empowerment and finding justice for like the environment that may be being screwed over by people. Especially in my state here, Campbell Newman, who is the premier for the state, is really pushing coal seam gas mining and pretty much trying to revoke a lot of the protection on the natural environments around here. So I'm really trying to work with Themis there, and I really want to start doing a lot more intensive works with her to really make those that are involved in all this situation where they're kind of ripping away the beauty that is nature and taking away its protection that's been worked so hard for, and making them see the error in their ways, or at least making them understand. So yeah, I think Themis is very much that, the great justice for me. The next deity I'll talk about is Freya, who I've kind of danced with her a few times before, but it wasn't until Witch Camp earlier this year, which, if you don't know what that is, I'll post a link below to the Cloudcatcher Witch Camp, which I went to last year, and I'm on the committee for the next one that's happening next year, and we're actually working with Freya. So we're working with the story of Freya and the Brisingamen, which is this beautiful necklace that Freya, essentially, to get it, she had to make love to these 4 dwarves that were the craftsmen of the Brisingamen, and by doing that, she gained that as her trophy, her winnings for that. And Freya is a beautiful deity to work with. She's associated with cats, with birds, also with the question that we had. She is often related with prosperity, and also I see she's like a warrior goddess. She's a love goddess. She's pretty much she's essentially the tough goddess. She's been through so much. She was married off to Odin as an agreement between the 2 tribes of gods, and she's pretty much had to reclaim and fight for her own power. She was always looked over as not being as great as she could be, but she's essentially like, when Freya is flourishing, the land and the world is flourishing. She gets the picks of the best warriors. She has the Valkyries are her assistants. She rides across the sky in a sleigh or a cart drawn by cats. She has a beautiful cloak made of raven feathers, and she's just this amazing, stunning being. And I think my favorite like saying with her is, with Freya, if you can't slay them, lay them. So in other words, if you can't kill them, have sex with them. And she's kind of like that. She's that beautiful, untamed, wild goddess. But she knows her power, and she is always in that position where she will stand up for her rights, and she's very much a justice. She will help those, like the slain warriors that are true of heart. She will always claim their souls for the Ragnarok, the end of the world. And they're looked after for that. And she looks after her Valkyries, and she's just beautiful and stunning, and often the Norse gods will be a jerk to her. Well, that's my experience with that so far. And yeah. The Morrigan, I don't really have a personal relationship with her. Like I said, my housemate does. So I'm really going to have to speak to her about that, and I will post a video on my own channel. And what I'll do is I can make it a video response to this, so you can check that out. But yeah, from what I've experienced, like the Morrigan is another one of these beautiful, stunning, wild warrior goddesses. And she's often depicted as, like, she may be covered in woes, so the blue paint of the Celtic people, or she may be depicted in blood, and she'll be seen like stalking the battlefields and challenging those warriors. And she's also like the goddess of sorcery. She's the goddess of magics, of transformation. She's often related with crows, with all these beautiful dark birds. She's got like raven, like I always imagine her with like raven dark hair, so like the black hair with the blue shine to it. And she has like three aspects, three faces, which I'm not overly familiar with, but I know from small talks with my housemate about this. And she's just, from what I know of her, she's stunning and beautiful, and I don't know if I could ever build a working relationship with her, but it would be something to invest my time in and always talk with her and explore relationships with her and see what it is. But like I said, I will have a chat to my housemate about her and really get some like more information about the Morrigan, her relations to animals, who she is, what her three aspects, her three faces are, and yeah, really just kind of see how you can build a good relationship with her. But I think that's pretty much it for this week. If you want to know any more about the deities I work with, always go check out my personal channel, so the link will be below. And I will try to make actually individual videos for all the deities I work with. I think, who have I got? So Hermes, Freya, Themis, Eros, Hecate, the sacred four gods of the Wildwood tradition. Baphomet, what's that? That's like 10. There's someone I'm missing. I'm currently in a relationship of working with Horus. Oh, Helios. Good old Helios. As well as in there. So that's about, I think 12 or something I'm at now. And yeah, it's kind of like friendships and just really working and building on those. And you get out as much of them as you put into it, really. So make sure you just start your foundations well. Really put yourself out there and just explore aspects. Do lots of research and just, yeah, make offerings, sit down, spend time with them. If you know anyone who's a priest or priestess of them, have chats, ask them questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So for this week, guys, much love and blessings, and blessed be. Bye.